Welcome to The Explainer. So picture this, it's 11 p.m., your history essay is due tomorrow, and a chatbot is just staring right back at you on your screen. We have all been there, right? Generative AI isn't just locked away in some high-tech lab anymore. It's right there on our desks, in our bedrooms, basically helping, or sometimes hurting, how assignments get done. So today we're going to build the ultimate insider's playbook on how students use AI safely. We're going to figure out how to use this tech smartly, ethically, and fearlessly, all without losing the absolute most important tool you have, your own unique critical thinking skills. Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room and ask the big question every single student, parent, and teacher is thinking about right now. Is opening up a chatbot to help with a history essay or a really tough math problem actually crossing the line into cheating? Well, the line isn't exactly obvious. It's a brand new world, and honestly, the rules are still being written as we speak. But the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It completely 100% depends on how you use it. So here is our Insider's Toolkit for today. We'll be looking at 1. The AI reality check, 2. Green lights and red lights, 3. The plagiarism test, 4. Digital privacy and safety, and finally, 5. Keeping your brain sharp. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the AI reality check, tool versus truth.
You know, it is so easy to look at a chatbot and just assume it has all the answers, mostly because it sounds incredibly confident. But here's the reality check. It is not an all-knowing oracle. It's actually just a highly sophisticated prediction machine. Think of it kind of like a supercharged version of the autocomplete on your phone's keyboard. It literally works by guessing the next logical word based on massive patterns of data. Once you understand that it's just a pattern matcher, it totally changes how you interact with it. You stop seeing it as this unquestionable truth teller and start treating it as a tool that needs your supervision.
The absolute crucial difference here is treating AI as an assistive tool rather than a replacement brain. Using it like a superpowered dictionary or a calculator to help enrich your own ideas, that's a fantastic way to learn. But the second you ask it to write a whole essay on a topic you know nothing about, and you just copy and paste it, well, you strip the core value out of learning. Educational research actually shows us that over-relying on AI for your analytical thinking will slowly weaken your own brain's ability to retain information and solve complex problems.
Moving right along to Section 2, green lights and red lights, setting boundaries.
Listen, consider this three-step workflow right here to be your ultimate cheat code for using AI safely without stunting your own intellectual growth. Step 1, you absolutely must try it yourself first. Really grapple with the material. Step 2, let yourself get stuck. Say you're on a really tough geometry proof. Honestly, that struggle is where the real learning happens. And then step 3, when you finally turn to AI, ask it to explain the concept you're stuck on, not to just hand you the final answer. If you follow this flow, AI becomes like a 24/7 personalized tutor for you rather than a cheap shortcut that's going to hurt you in the long run.
Because there is a massive difference between smart studying and crossing over into academic dishonesty. Let's break it down. In the green light zone, you're asking AI to help you brainstorm topics for an essay, maybe checking your own written text for grammar mistakes, or having it generate a practice quiz so you can self-test. Those are amazing, productive uses. But in the red light zone, that's where you're copying full essays, using it to bypass reading an assigned book, or cheating on closed book tests. That is letting the machine do the heavy lifting, which, let's face it, totally hollows out your education. Let's jump into Section 3, the plagiarism test. Is it yours? If you find that the AI generated the core thought from scratch, and you just copy-pasted it, you've definitely failed the 10-second plagiarism test. You have to stop and ask yourself, whose idea is this really? If you used AI to guide your own ideas, like helping you organize a bunch of chaotic thoughts into a neat little outline, that's a completely legitimate use. But if the AI generated the idea out of thin air, and you were just acting as the messenger delivering it to your teacher, that is plagiarism, plain and simple, no matter how much you tweak the wording to make it sound like you.
And here is the ultimate own your work rule. Teachers actually have a super simple way of knowing if you used AI to cheat. Imagine your teacher pulls you aside and asks you to explain the concepts in your essay out loud, right there on the spot, without looking at any of your notes. Could you do it? If you can't verbally defend what you just submitted, you haven't truly learned it yet. It pretty much proves the work didn't actually pass through your own internal processing system.
You know, being upfront about using AI for brainstorming or grammar actually shows a ton of maturity, and it protects you from serious academic trouble down the road. If you use AI to help outline a paper, just say so. Treat it like any other research source. Just add a quick note or a citation at the bottom of your assignment explaining exactly how it assisted you. Also, it's a great idea to keep your handwritten notes and rough drafts. Documenting your thinking process proves your intellectual integrity. And honestly, teachers absolutely love to see exactly how you arrived at your final conclusion.
That brings us to Section 4, Digital Privacy and Safety. Stay safe online.
Let's be real for a second. You can never, ever blindly trust a chatbot. You always have to verify critical information with secondary, trustworthy sources because, believe it or not, the machine will lie to you with absolute confidence. This wild phenomenon is known in the tech world as AI hallucinations. Because it's a prediction engine, if it doesn't know an answer, it will sometimes just make one up that sounds incredibly plausible. We're talking inventing historical dates, faking math formulas, even citing books that literally do not exist. Lawyers have actually been caught submitting fake AI-generated court cases to judges. So always double-check your facts.
Also, we really need to talk about digital boundaries. You must remember that these chats are often stored and used for training data, so you've got to keep your personal boundaries locked down tight. When you type into a free chatbot, you aren't writing in a private locked diary. That data can be reviewed by engineers or ingested to train future versions of the AI. Basically, treat the prompt box like a public bulletin board. Keep to the never share list. Never drop in your full name, your home address, your passwords, family photos, or your school ID.
Another really important boundary is emotional safety. While a chatbot might sound super empathetic, we have to draw a hard line here. Because chatbots use natural conversational language, it's really easy to start talking to them as if they're a friend or even a therapist. But they lack real consciousness. They do not actually care about you. Relying on an AI for deep emotional support is a dangerous trap. As an academic tool, helpful, fast, accessible. As a friend, absolutely not. We must always rely on real human beings, friends, family, teachers, and professionals when we need actual empathy and help.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, Keeping Your Brain Sharp, Deep Learning.
True, deep learning requires the struggle of actually wrestling with ideas. If you're just passively consuming what AI spits out, your critical thinking skills are literally going to fade away. So, one of the best ways to guarantee you're keeping your brain sharp is a technique called reverse teaching. Here's how it works. Once you think you've grasped a topic, even if an AI helped explain it to you, go to a parent, a sibling, or a friend and try to teach it to them. If you can explain it clearly without stumbling or looking at your notes, congratulations, you have achieved deep learning.
All right, before you ever hit send on any assignment, I want you to run through this mental checklist. This is how you master AI like a pro while keeping your integrity fully intact. Ready? Number 1, did you try to understand it yourself first? 2, are your AI uses purely in the green zone? 3, can you pass the out loud test we talked about? 4, did you disclose your AI use to your teacher? And 5, did you protect your personal data? If you can check all 5 of those boxes, you are using this technology brilliantly.
So here's a thought to leave you with. In a future filled with artificial brains handing out instant answers, what steps will you take today to protect and strengthen your own unique human critical thinking? It's something to seriously ponder, because ultimately, AI is just a tool. Your human mind, that's the real powerhouse. The world doesn't need people who just know how to copy and paste from a chatbot. It desperately needs critical thinkers, problem solvers, and creative minds who can evaluate information and build on it. Use AI to assist you, for sure, but never let it replace you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep that brain of yours sharp.